Let's play ball. Okay. Blue Jays. Let's play ball.
Welcome back to a random Blue Jays first Blue Jays Days. On this week's episode, Howie Clark. Howie Clark was originally signed by the Blue Jays as a free agent November 12, 2002. Some other notable free agents signed in the 2002 offseason: Jeff Tam, Trevor Miller, Mike Moriarty, Rob Ryan, Tim Young, Josh Towers, Bruce Avon, Greg Myers, Mike Bordick, Tanyan Sturtz, Mike Colangelo, and Frank Catalanato. Of these players, only Frank Catalanato, Josh Towers, Mike Bordick, and Greg Myers would make any significant impact to the 2003 season and beyond for the Blue Jays. Prior to being signed by the Blue Jays, Howie played 14 games with Baltimore in 2002, 10 years after being originally drafted in 1992. Howie was called up to the Blue Jays May 25, 2003, from AAA Syracuse when Eric Hinske, the 2002 AL Rookie of the Year, went on the disabled list with a broken hand. Also on the roster for the 2003 Syracuse Chiefs that year was the current Toronto Blue Jays manager, John Schneider. Howie made his Toronto Blue Jays debut May 28, 2002 at home against the Chicago White Sox. The Blue Jays were 29-25 entering that day, 3 games behind the Red Sox for first place in the East. The Blue Jays starting lineup that day: Shannon Stewart in left, Frank Catalanato in right, Vernon Wells in center, Carlos Delgado at first, Greg Myers at DH, Tom Wilson doing the catching, Orlando Hudson, the O-Dog, at second, Howie Clark at third, and Chris Woodward, the current first base coach of the Los Angeles Dodgers, was at short. The starting pitcher that day for the Jays was Kelvin Escobar. Some other pitchers used for the Jays that day: Pete Walker, who is currently the Blue Jays pitching coach, Tanyan Sturtz, Jeff Tam, and Josh Towers. In the lineup for the White Sox, amongst others that day, was Frank Thomas, future Blue Jay and a future Hall of Famer. The starting pitcher for the White Sox that day was John Garland. And pitching the ninth for the White Sox that day was former Blue Jays closer Billy Koch. Howie's first at-bat as a Blue Jay would come in the bottom of the second. With 2 outs and Orlando Hudson on first, Howie would get a line drive single to center for his first hit in his first at-bat as a Blue Jay. He would be stranded at first on a Chris Woodward groundout. In the top of the fourth, Howie would see his first action in the field, making 2 putouts, third to first, off the bats of Carlos Lee and Frank Thomas. Howie would come up to bat again on the fifth, with the Blue Jays trailing 2-0, again with Orlando Hudson on first. This time, Howie would hit into a 4-6-3 double play. His next action on the field was in the top of the sixth. He would field a ground ball from Joe Creedy to get the out at first. Top of the seventh, Howie fields a ground ball from Carlos Lee, also to make the out at first. With 1 out in the eighth, Howie would get his third at-bat of the game. This time he would line a 3-2 pitch to right field for a double, his first extra base hit for the Blue Jays. Howie would be stranded on the bases after Woodward and Stewart each grounded out. This is the last action Howie would see in his Blue Jays debut. The Blue Jays ended up losing 8-0. The final line for Howie in his Blue Jays debut: 2 for 3 with a double, 4 chances in the field, and 4 assists. Howie would go on to play 38 games for the Blue Jays in 2003, 70 at-bats, scoring 9 runs, 25 hits, 3 doubles with a triple, 7 RBIs. He hit .357 with an on-base percentage of .400. For a player who was brought in to replace the reigning Rookie of the Year, Howie produced admirably. In 2003, Howie was with the Blue Jays from May 25th to June 25th when he was returned to Syracuse when Eric Hinske returned from the disabled list. Howie was later recalled in September when the rosters expanded, along with pitcher Brian Bowles, pitcher Vinny Chulk, and pitcher Dan Reichert. Howie would play parts of the 2004 and 2007 seasons in Toronto, along with games in Baltimore in 2006 and Minnesota in 2008. His major league totals: 134 games, 302 at-bats, 36 runs, 79 hits, 18 doubles, 1 triple, 3 home runs, with a career batting average of .262. Howie Clark is the definition of a journeyman. He spent parts of 17 seasons across 5 different organizations in the minors with over 1,400 minor league at-bats, with stops in places like Albany, Rochester, and Frederick, along with stops in the Mexican League. After retirement from playing in 2009, Howie would take on the role of coaching, starting as a hitting coach of the Delmarva Shorebirds, the A-Ball Baltimore affiliate. Amongst other positions, Howie was the assistant hitting coach for the Orioles from 2017 to 2019. In January of 2023, Howie was the hitting coach of the Memphis Redbirds, the AAA affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals, a position he still holds today. Howie Clark may not be the most memorable Blue Jays player of all time, but a play he was involved with will always be remembered in Toronto. In his second stint with the Blue Jays on May 30th, 2007, Howie was playing third against the Yankees. With Alex Rodriguez rounding third on a pop-up, he yelled something at Howie, which caused Howie to back off the pop fly, and it dropped between Howie and John McDonald.
The runners, the pitch is on the way, and Posada lifts a high pop-up. Howie Clark on the left side of the infield is there, and the ball falls in. And the Yankees are going to get another run as Matsui scores from second. How about that? It's now 8-5. Posada and McDonald is arguing with Alex Rodriguez. And I think I know why. A-Rod might have said, I got it about right here, and Clark let it go. And John McDonald is really hot at Alex Rodriguez. He wanted to go at A-Rod, and now John Gibbons is coming out of the dugout. He's saying, I didn't call the ball.
Talk about the play where you were running past third base and you yelled out something to the...
Yeah, I just said, ha. I said, ha, that's it. I was actually almost past third base.
The Blue Jay Banter blog does an incredible job of recapping the entire incident. I will link the full article in the description of this episode. On the next episode of A Random Blue Jays First Blue Jays Day, pitcher Dave Maurer.
Hello, my name's Poku and I don't know what to do.